Here's a quick video to explain to you how your grades are calculated in MYP classes. Here I have a grade book that's for a generic MYP subject, criterion A, criterion B, then C and D. There are 3 tasks in each subject, and here are the achievement levels that the students reached in each task. So if I look at the first student, they've achieved a 6, a 7, and a 6 in criterion A. The 6 is the highest score they've hit twice, so that's what their overall score is. In criterion B, they're at a 6 and 2 5s. Again, the 5 is the highest consistent mark, so that's their 5. Same thing applies for criterion C. A couple of 4s and a 5 means that's an overall 4. Here in criterion D, they haven't hit anything consistently, but the 7 is higher than the 6, which means the 6 is the highest thing they've hit twice, so that's their overall score. All right, so let's look at the second student. A 4, a 5, and a 4 works out to a 4. A 3, a 4, and a 5, again, because the 4 has been the highest thing hit twice, is a 4. 4, 5, and 6, you would think the logic there is that it's the 5, but because this student has shown improvement or growth over the course of the year, the teacher is within their professional rights to award a 6 because that student has shown consistent growth from the beginning of the year to the end of the year. So you'll notice it's not an average. It does reflect the highest achievement, and we do award achievement at the end of the year over things that happened at the beginning of the year when maybe you were still figuring things out. Similarly, 5 and a 4 and a 4, right? The grades have changed over the year, but this student has very consistently earned that 4, and so we're going to leave that 5 behind. This student earned a couple of 2s and a 3, so they're at a 2 here for criterion A. But look, they didn't turn anything in. Maybe it was a BC lab report for their science class. Here, they've got a couple of 3s, so that's pretty easy. But in this case, in criterion C, the highest thing that they've hit 2 times is that 2, because a 3 is higher than a 2. They didn't have a third piece of evidence to offset that 2, so the teacher is obligated to award a 2 there. Then maybe the student decides, hey, it's the end of the year, my grades aren't great, I really got to get my act together. And they do a bang up job on this third criterion D task. But the first 2 they did were pretty low. Well, the teacher wants to award the progress and the growth, but the difference there is so great that the student's not going to earn that 6. So here the teacher uses their professional judgment to award either a 3 or perhaps a 4 here. And the teacher will decide that on a case-by-case basis, depending on how hard they've seen the student working, how engaged that student has been, and how well that student is applying their approaches to learning. So now that we have overall grades across all 4 criteria, let's look at how those determine the final grade that comes out on the report card. So here we have an example in MYP Sciences. We've got criterion A, B, C, and D. And from our first student up here, they earned an overall mark of a 6, a 5, a 4, and a 6. Let's make that a little bit bigger so you can see it a little more clearly. Okay? 6, a 5, a 4, and a 6. If you add the score, the achievement levels from all 4 criteria, and you'll get a total. Here it's 21 marks out of a maximum of 32, because 4 criteria times a maximum achievement level of 8 per criterion is 32 marks. You take that sum, 21 marks, and compare it to these boundary guidelines that are defined by the International Baccalaureate. 21 marks, as you can see here, falls between 19 and 23. That equates to a final overall grade of 5 on a 1 to 7 scale. If this student had maybe earned a 6 in criterion C, that would have brought them up to 23 marks. They'd still be at a 5. But if they had earned 6 in all 4 criteria, that puts them at 24 marks and would have moved their overall grade up to a 6 out of 7. That's how your MYP grades are determined. I hope you found this helpful.